Is an eye for an eye a fair principle for justice, or does it only leave the whole world blind? This age-old question is once again being asked as we turn our attention to the heart of Africa, to the Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation that finds itself once again in the grip of a heated debate over the death penalty. Historically, Congo's relationship with capital punishment has been a complex one. Back in 1981, the nation decided to abolish the death penalty. This move was seen as a step forward in the journey towards recognizing the sanctity of life, even for those who have committed grave crimes. However, just 25 years later, in 2006, the pendulum swung back. The death penalty was reinstated, marking a significant shift in the nation's approach to crime and punishment. The reinstatement of the death penalty in Congo has sparked a multitude of differing opinions. There are those who view capital punishment as a necessary deterrent, a tool to discourage potential criminals and maintain law and order. They argue that the threat of the ultimate punishment, the loss of life, is a potent weapon in the fight against crime. On the other hand, there are voices of dissent, voices that raise concerns about potential human rights violations and the need for adherence to due process and judicial procedures. They argue that the death penalty is a step too far, a violation of the most basic right, the right to life. They question whether the state should have the power to take away a life, even in the pursuit of justice. As we delve into the recent events in Congo, remember the complexities of the death penalty debate. As we explore the cases of the so-called urban bandits and the executed soldiers, we must remember that behind the statistics and the headlines are individuals, whose lives and deaths are a part of a larger, ongoing conversation about justice, punishment, and the value of human life. In the heart of Africa, over 170 individuals face the ultimate punishment. Nestled in the vast expanse of the Congo, these young men, known as the Kulunas, or urban bandits, are in the prime of their lives, their ages ranging from 18 to 35. Their crime, armed robbery, their fate, execution. Their home, for now, is a high-security prison, a grim waiting room for the condemned. To some, their impending demise serves as a stern warning to would-be criminals, a clear message that the Congolese government is determined to combat the rising tide of urban crime through the most severe of measures. The streets of the Congo, they argue, will be safer without these urban bandits, these young men who have chosen a path of crime and violence. The executions, in their view, are not just an act of retribution, but a necessary step towards restoring order and security in a land too often shaken by chaos. But let us pause for a moment and consider another perspective. Is it possible that these executions, rather than solving the problem of urban crime, merely treat the symptom of a deeper societal issue? Does the removal of these urban bandits from the streets address the root causes that push them towards crime in the first place? Could it be that the real battle is not against these individuals, but against the poverty, social exclusion, and other systemic issues that continue to breed crime? And if so, is the ultimate solution not the gallows, but a holistic approach that seeks to address these underlying issues? But do these executions solve the problem, or do they merely treat the symptom of a deeper societal issue? As we grapple with these questions, the fate of over 170 individuals hangs in the balance, a stark reminder of the complexities of justice and the human cost of crime. Justice must be served, but at what cost to our humanity? As we delve into the heart of human rights and justice in Congo, there's a pressing question that surfaces. Are we crossing the line between justice and violation of basic human rights? The execution of over 170 individuals, the Kulunas, or urban bandits as they're known, has sparked a debate that's as old as civilization itself. The right to life, the most fundamental of all rights, seems to be in direct conflict with the quest for justice and social order. While some view capital punishment as a necessary evil to combat rampant crime, a deeper look reveals a complex web of socio-economic factors at play. Crime cannot be viewed in isolation from its societal context. It's often a manifestation of deeper issues such as poverty and social exclusion. The answer then might not lie in the execution chamber, but in addressing these root causes. A holistic approach to crime prevention could involve investing in education, creating employment opportunities, and fostering social inclusion. By tackling poverty and exclusion, we might be able to address the root cause of crime, rather than just its symptoms. But let's not forget the importance of judicial procedures. Even in the pursuit of justice, it's essential that due process is followed. This ensures that everyone, even those accused of heinous crimes, are given a fair chance to defend themselves. The recent events in Congo have raised concerns about whether these procedures are being adhered to. In the end, it all boils down to balance. On one hand, we have the need for justice and social order, and on the other, the need to uphold human rights and the principles of fair trial. It's a tightrope walk, and one that societies around the world grapple with every day. The debate continues. How do we balance the pursuit of justice with the protection of human rights? In the military, loyalty is paramount, but what happens when that loyalty is broken? Picture a soldier, a figure of honor, duty, and steadfast loyalty. Yet even in such disciplined ranks, instances of betrayal emerge, shaking the very foundations of this brotherhood. Recently, the Democratic Republic of Congo has been dealing with such a dilemma. Reports indicate that soldiers have been sentenced to death for treason. This brings us to a complex crossroads, where the stern demands of military discipline intersect with the contentious issue of capital punishment. Treason, the act of betraying one's country, is considered one of the most severe crimes in any society, particularly in the military. The gravity of this crime is undoubtedly immense, yet the application of the death penalty as a response has sparked intense debates. In Congo, the reinstatement of the death penalty in 2006 allows for such a punishment. However, the use of capital punishment in these cases is not without controversy. It forces us to confront difficult questions about justice, morality, and the value of a human life. Critics of capital punishment argue that the death penalty is an inherently flawed form of punishment. They contend that it represents the ultimate denial of human rights and that no legal system is immune to making fatal mistakes. Moreover, they argue that it fails to act as a deterrent to crime, one of the primary purposes of any punishment. On the other hand, proponents of the death penalty argue that crimes like treason warrant such a severe consequence. They maintain that it serves as an effective deterrent and delivers retribution to those who have inflicted grave harm on their society. These opposing views illustrate the complex nature of the death penalty debate. They also underscore the importance of ongoing discussions about its use, particularly in cases involving soldiers and the crime of treason. As we grapple with the issue of loyalty versus betrayal, the question remains, does the punishment fit the crime? It's a question that demands careful thought, nuanced understanding, and above all, a deep commitment to justice. As the situation in Congo unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the complexities inherent in the intersection of crime, punishment, and human rights. The death penalty, a simple solution to a complex problem, or a complex problem in itself? As we delve deeper into the heart of this issue, the lines between right and wrong, just and unjust, become increasingly blurred. In this discourse, we've journeyed through the resurgence of the death penalty in the Congo, a nation grappling with urban crime and treasonous soldiers. We've met the so-called urban bandits, young men now facing the ultimate punishment for their actions. This punitive approach, reinstated after a 25-year hiatus, is seen by some as a stern message to those who disrupt societal order. Yet this narrative is far from one-dimensional. Amidst the calls for retribution and justice, we've also heard the echoes of concern for human rights violations. Questions have been raised about the adherence to due judicial procedures and the potential for unjust sentencing. The death penalty, once thought of as a clear-cut solution, is now under scrutiny, its ethical and legal complexities laid bare. We've also ventured into the unsettling realm of military executions. Soldiers, once heralded as defenders of the nation, now stand condemned for treason. This stark reality further complicates the debate around capital punishment, adding layers of political and ethical dilemmas to the mix. Globally, the death penalty debate is far from being settled. In some corners of the world, it's seen as a necessary deterrent, a tool to maintain law and order. In others, it's viewed as a relic of a bygone era, a violation of the most basic human right, the right to life. The death penalty debate is undeniably a complex one. It's a discourse that transcends legal boundaries, delving into the realms of morality, ethics, and humanity. It's a conversation that challenges us to consider what justice truly means and how far we're willing to go to achieve it. As we continue to examine the implications of the death penalty, we are left with more questions than answers. Because when it comes to life and death, Nothing is ever black and white.